Hi, church family. My name is Olivia Frederick, and I am on staff here at VCD. And I'm excited to share with you guys another short Devo from our Circle Maker series that we've been going through by Mark Batterson. This week we are going through the fourth installment of this book called Keep Circling. And it's all about continuing on in persistence and hope in our prayer lives. And I'm going to share a little bit about a personal story of my own of an experience where I was continuing to pray and seek for something amidst things that were really not going well. So, um, when Joshua and I first moved back to this area, we were looking for homes all over the Wheaton area and neighboring towns, and we were living in Minnesota at that time. We had a 1.5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and we were just, two-year-olds, and we were just going back and forth, making the 9-hour trip whenever we could every month to try to tour homes, to look for a place to live. We believed that God had called us to this church. We believed that God was leading us to this next phase of our life. And we had seen so many homes. We had my poor parents and Dave and Anita just touring home after home. And we were doing it on video, and we had driven up and down, and we had kind of reached this point where we're like, man, we feel like this has been, we're knocking on a lot of doors. We were putting an offer on a few, and just nothing was panning out. And the house that we're in today was one that looked amazing. It was one of those, too good to be true for the price kind of thing. And it was a little bit above our price range, so we put in an offer for this home. It had everything that we had wanted for our little family, and we felt amazing about it. We're like, we visited it 3 times. And so we put in an offer, and the next day there was an offer that was a cash offer that was 10 to 20 grand above our offer, what the highest was that we could owe. And so we were like, wow, there it goes. And so we were feeling a lot of disappointment, but at the same time felt like, man, Lord, I know that this is you've called us to this area. You know our needs. You know we have a growing family, and we continued to pray for a home that was like this one, because it seemed to have everything that we had needed. And so we were praying. I think it was 2 weeks later. We got a call from our realtor and said, hey, the cash offer rescinded, and the homeowners want to sell the house so bad they're not putting it back on the market. And so they just want to they'll take your lower offer because they want to just sell the house and move on. And so we ended up getting the house because this offer went in and then was pulled back, and so we ended up getting the house for actually probably a little bit less than what it might have been worth, and we didn't have to compete with anybody in a bidding war when just housing's still bad, but housing was terrible last year. And it was this really cool moment of, we had experienced just disappointment, but we knew that God was faithful and kept praying, and kind of kept pressing in, kept asking God to provide. And it was so cool how that the Lord worked so that this person who put in the offer actually kind of saved the home for us for a few weeks, so that when they pulled out, the old homeowners didn't even want to relist it to compete, which I'm sure they could have gotten more for it than what we had offered. And so it was this really sweet experience that we had of the Lord coming through in ways that seemed terrible. It was so disappointing to have something that we were really excited about. And so as I walk just the rooms and this house every day, I'm reminded that God can actually use things that look like really terrible situations and turn them into your good, like that verse says. And so I want to encourage you and bless you today to continue pressing in, to know that God is faithful, and share your stories of his faithfulness so that it can encourage other people as well. God bless.